Kev G with a weather overview. This is a long-range discussion. So if you want specifics on what's going to happen over the weekend, check out the other video. But right now I want to look at the long range because I love the long range. I'm fascinated by it, even though the predictability is obviously much lower in the long range than as opposed to, 36 to 48 hours out. But we'll have some fun, so hopefully this will give you a little bit of an interesting take on what's going to happen next week. Now we're going to compare the GFS to the European, and we're going to look at just the upper air. And what you'll notice is that all this blue, this area of blue over the eastern part of the United States, means that we have general unsettled weather for the majority of next week. I don't think it'll rain the entire time, but definitely well below normal temperatures. We should be in the 70s this time of year. I think we'll be 5 to 7 degrees cooler than that on a daily basis. And this is what we look like, the upper air at 18,000 feet. This is what we look like on Monday. And as we go along, what happens is a storm develops along the mid-Atlantic coast. And the question is going to be for Wednesday into Thursday of next week, how close is that storm to shore? Now we notice that the next thing I notice is that over the western part of the country, there's a lot more high pressure. There's a lot more stable weather out there. Warmer temperatures abound over the Intermountain West and over the upper Midwest. And this is out to Thursday. Now as we go into Friday, that trough or storm starts to leave, and we start to notice that this ridge that's out from the western states starts to build over into the continental United States. So if you were to believe this verbatim, by the 10th, which is next Saturday, we're starting to get into a pretty warm pattern. You see all those low heights off the west coast. That would be indicative of stormy weather getting to take shape near the California coast, and this ridge just keeps building over the top. Now, if only it were that simple. So let's take a look at the European model. And this is the European at the same time, valid Monday, June 12th. It's completely the opposite. It has a trough over the east, and it actually has a trough over both coasts, so east and west. So if we back it up a bit, we see the same general idea. This is out to next Tuesday. The same general idea with the European having this storm near the eastern seaboard and also these lower heights, which would keep the warmer temperatures out. We go into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and look at this, completely different now. There's a new area of low pressure or unsettled weather taking shape over the Canadian prairie provinces and heading east, so that by Saturday, Sunday, oh, that looks ugly. So we don't want this if we want nice weather for next weekend. So it's a battle between the European and the GFS, as it always is, in the long range for what happens after the 10th. Do we go into a pattern where it starts to feel like summer around here, or do we have more of the same where it's cool and unsettled? So I think generally next week it's pretty certain that we're going to have fairly unsettled weather with periods of showers and cooler temperatures, and then we'll just have to see what happens by next weekend. Do we get some sort of summer-like heat in here, or do we get what the European says, which would imply that it's more unsettled and more stormy? My take would be that if I had to bet, I think that next weekend would be cool and unsettled, and then after that, we would start to get into more summer-like heat, more regular heat for this time of year. Heat may be a wrong word, but at least summer-type temperatures after the 12th of the 13th. So splitting the difference, that's what I would get out of it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this discussion, and I'll see you next time.